this part of the method, we'll be taking a look at effects processing, starting with the most widely used studio effect of all, reverberation. Reverb is the result of reflective sound within an enclosed space. It can add excitement and drama to dry music tracks or a sense of space and environment in film and TV post-production. It's one of the most common effects, and it can also have one of the highest degrees of nuance and complexity. Over the years, sound engineers have developed a range of techniques for generating the sound of reverberant spaces. Digital recreations of these classic reverb sounds are available as presets in today's reverb plugins. The choices and labels may vary slightly from one device to another, but they generally fall into the following categories. Hall programs are designed to recreate the sound of a concert hall. They typically come in small, medium, and large sizes. Halls tend to be rich and smooth and are great for vocals, pianos, or orchestral instruments. The very largest halls may have extremely long decays, like that of a Gothic cathedral. Reverberation chambers were specially designed rooms used in early recording studios. They were fairly large rooms with hard surfaces into which a loudspeaker was played, and the sound was then picked up by microphones. Chamber programs tend to sound smooth and similar to halls, but with a bit more mids and highs and in more even tonal color as the sound decays. They're useful for a wide range of material and especially good for spoken voice applications. Prior to the digital revolution, plate reverbs were a common reverberation technique used on many classic recordings. They used large sheets of metal with attached transducers vibrating within an enclosed frame to simulate natural reverb. A few pro studios still keep a real plate around. Plate reverb is usually the brightest sounding reverb. It's a smooth, dense, and relatively colored sound, and it's still a popular choice for vocals and other sounds. Room and ambience programs emulate the sound of various rooms, like bathrooms, conference rooms, marble foyers, and so on. Room programs can add a sense of smaller live spaces that are reflective without overly coloring the direct sound. The gated reverb presents an intense reverberant sound that dies away abruptly. It can add dramatic effect, but because of its quick decay, it won't drown the mix. Reverse reverb is a special effect that runs the reverb algorithm backwards to create a swell that sharply closes off into a swoop effect. It's typically used on transient sounds like drums or percussion and was very popular in the 1980s and 90s. High-end reverb plugins today are called convolution reverbs. Convolution reverb works by multiplying two audio signals in the frequency domain. A reverb effect is obtained when an impulse file is convolved with the original wave file. Reverb impulse files are created by recording short, sharp sounds in real spaces or through a reverb or effects unit. The recorded sound is an acoustic fingerprint of the real space. This technique is equivalent to sampling an acoustic instrument. It lets us borrow impulses from very expensive hardware or from real spaces that we'd never have the chance to actually record in. You can buy or find free impulses on the internet to download and load into your reverb application. Delay is an audio effect that records an input signal and then plays it back after a period of time. The delayed signal may be played back multiple times or played back into the recording again to create the sound of a repeating, decaying echo. Delay effects range from a subtle echo of one sound to a cascading blend of many different sounds. Delay effects can be created using tape loops, analog effects units, digital effects pedals, and audio software plugins. The first delay effects used tape loops on reel-to-reel tape recorders. Later, analog delays were developed that allowed short repeats and extended echo effects. With digital delays, sampling technology extended the available delay times and the fidelity of repeated sounds, allowing for loops and new effects. Now, software plugins and computer memory give us just about unlimited freedom to tailor delays and loops to whatever we want. Here are some of the classic delay effects. Doubling is produced by adding a very short-range delay to a previously recorded sound. Delays of 30 to 50 milliseconds are the most common. Mixing the original and delayed sound creates an effect similar to double tracking or unison performance.
Ain't no doubt about it. She knocked me off my feet. Ain't no way around it. Butterscotch can't be beat.
Longer delay times give a sound known as slapback echo. Slapback uses a longer delay time, 75 to 250 milliseconds, with little or no feedback. You know the sound of this effect from the 50s rock and roll records. The effect was originally produced on a tape recorder by feeding the output from the playback head back into the record head. The physical space between the heads, the speed of the tape, and the chosen volume all affected the resulting sound. Analog and later digital delay machines also easily produced this effect, but without the moving parts of a tape-based machine.
Ain't no doubt about it. She knocked me off my feet. Ain't no way around it. Butterscotch can't be beat.
One of the most popular uses of a delay is to make the repeats of a sound sync to the tempo of the music. On some units, you can set this up by tapping in the tempo with your fingers or your foot. On more advanced units, you can program the rate in milliseconds at which you want the delayed signal to sound. And on your DAW, you can actually lock it up to a quarter note or an eighth note.
Take control.
Because of the limitless number of sounds that can be created using delays with various audio signals, delays are probably the most common and most powerful tool in the studio. Flanging, chorus, and reverb are all delay-based sound effects. We'll show you a few ways to set up a delay device for different effects.